Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. We are live hanging out, talking about the news. And today, some big news has come in. A new breakthrough, a new development regarding this Tupac Shakur murder. This has been an unsolved case. His and Biggie Smalls' case have been figured out for the longest of times, unresolved murders. Now, a lot of speculation, and people seem to think where this is headed, but a lot of the people, witnesses involved, were all taken out as well. And his family deserves justice. It deserves some closure to this. Tupac, Biggie, man, these were icons of the rap world. And it's sad that we lost them due to a drive-by out in Vegas in the 90s. I want to go through a timeline of things to remind everybody what this case was. There's been some recent documentaries over the years that have brought this back to light and brought a lot more interest into the case. But today, or I guess it was yesterday? It's a couple days ago, sorry. It was on Monday. Today's Tuesday. Cops came in and searched a Vegas area home in connection with the rapper's murder. We have some footage here. Here it is. As they were coming in doing their searches and whatnot. But out of nowhere, all these years later, I'm going to say 30 years later, suddenly we have a breakthrough. Cops came in and they wanted to figure out what was going on, some connection to the house. And then things apparently ended with a face-off where people were moved from the home. It got way more intense as more lights and security officers and whatnot came through to check out what was going on, begging a lot of questions from folks wondering what the hell's going on. All this time later, suddenly we're raiding a house involved with Tupac and the murder. Do we have actual new information that could answer some questions? Yeah. So there you go. We're going to break it down. So what's actually happening? I appreciate Steph has brought down a doc. Let me open this up so you guys can stare at some other information while I'm doing this. And all right, so here we go, guys. So here's what happened. Cops executed a search warrant on the home. To obtain the warrant, they would have had to show a judge, mind you, keep this in mind, that the probable cause was there to believe that there was evidence in that home connected to Tupac's murder. They were searching the property for approximately 2 whole hours. A rep for Tupac's stepbrother said, "I'm really not impressed with this late in the game effort. Though I appreciate it, it's late in the game. Las Vegas nor New York have done significant investigation so as far that we can see." I mean, this is justified frustration from the family, given that, it's been forever. Everyone stay tuned. Let's see what happens. I'm surprised like everybody else. A rep for Tupac's sister reacted to the news saying, "We are learning about the case the same way you all are. We have nothing to say." Full statement from the Metro Police in Las Vegas say, "We can confirm a search warrant was served in Henderson, Nevada on July 17th, 2023. As part of an ongoing investigation, Los Angeles Metro Police Department said in a statement released Tuesday, we will have no further comment at this time. The statement is the first time in years any police agency has publicly revealed it is actively pursuing inquiries in the September 7th, 1996 shooting. Nevada does not have a statute of limitations for prosecuting homicide cases." So there we go. You're seeing the video. So during that seize, we've now learned that more stuff was removed from the home. And obviously, as you're seeing in this video, there was some sort of standoff as more people were arrested. In addition, as they were doing this search and siege, what was taken from the home? Magazine articles about Tupac and his death were in the house. Computers, hard drives, pictures from the 90s that apparently show individuals who might have been connected to people directly or indirectly involved in the drive-by. Copies of the book, Compton Street Legend by Duane Keith Davis, remember that name, who claims to be one of the 2 living eyewitnesses to the shooting. He's otherwise known as Keffy D. The evidence in the case is now being presented to Los Angeles grand jury. Charging decisions have not yet been made and are not imminent. The official said it could take months for the grand jury to decide whether to indict anybody. Investigators have long believed that the gunman is likely already dead, the victim of a separate shooting 2 years after the Vegas drive-by. Current investigation could lead to a determination of who was in the car with the gunman when the rounds were fired that killed Tupac. That could lead to someone being charged as an accomplice. So they were apparently also, the rumors are, they were looking for a trophy, some sort of item in the house in connection with the investigation. Sources say like it's normal in the streets for gangsters to keep trophies or items linked to their biggest moments. And obviously nothing's bigger than Tupac's passing and being responsible for it. So there may be items that kept in the home which are relevant. That's what many people suspect is what they're perhaps looking for. Still, we're waiting to see what's actually happening there. 2 key pieces of evidence still remain missing in the investigation regarding Tupac's death. The Glock revolver and the white Cadillac car, which pulled up beside Tupac's car before someone suspected to be Keith, that guy we talked about, his nephew, Orlando, I guess his name, who many suspect is the one who did it. Now, again, related to the guy whose house they took. Vegas police go back to the property and it obviously ends with a standoff. Cops shouted at the people inside to come out with their hands up. Video here you're looking at it shows them telling a woman to drop her cigarettes and comply. It shows them ordering a male to turn around, put his hands and walk backwards. Unclear if they were both arrested or suspects in the investigation. But yeah, there you are. You're seeing a little bit more from, couldn't really hear it in that video, but that's what TMZ was reporting. And here's the footage. So who owns the raided property? Well, it's owned by Paula Clemens, who's married to Dwayne Keith Davis, Keffy D. Keffy D claims to be the uncle of the late Orlando Anderson, who is suspected to be, by many, to be the shooter. Orlando and his crew, including Keith, were in Vegas that night, and Orlando was actually jumped by Tupac, Suge Knight, and Death Row affiliates at the MGA ground. It's an altercation that was caught on surveillance video, and many thought Orlando might have orchestrated a revenge after the Mike Tyson fight that night. Orlando himself has denied any involvement before he himself was killed in a shootout as well. Biggie homicide investigator, Biggie Smalls, he reacted to this. Greg Kading, who's an investigator, thinks that police are now close to cracking the case. Here I can show you this while we're looking at it.
You think, after all these years, Las Vegas PD got this search warrant and executed the search?
Well, there's a couple of explanations. Is this directly related to their investigation, the cold case investigation of Tupac? Or is it just a coincidental thing where this guy's being looked at for some other unrelated crime and they're going there to further that criminal investigation?
That's the big question. I'm stopping because TMZ sucks. We have to offer our commentary here. But yeah, he says that Keith spoke to him as part of investigations back in 2009. He confessed that his nephew Orlando was the killer. Kading, this investigator here you're looking at, says that they struck a deal with Keith in exchange for this information to protect Keith from prosecution. But Kading says the deal became void as soon as he started to share some of this information publicly. Kading suspects that Keith may be under the impression their deal for him being safe from prosecution still stands, but it may not now. Now, Keith D described what happened in an interview here. Hold on, opening up that next.
76.
Okay.
I was on my way from the Savon's drugstore down there.
Now, this is Keith explaining what happened that day. I'm going to go to 101. Hold on, I have a time code here. Bear with me, guys, to play this for you. I thought I had it ready, but I didn't. But here's a section to give you guys.
That was the closest he came to Compton.
Okay, got it.
That was, yeah.
So let's talk about Orlando for a second. Orlando's your nephew.
Yeah.
He's 12
I really
years.
don't want to talk about my nephew. I want to talk about me. And
Okay.
What happened with me.
All right, but I just want to establish Orlando is your nephew and you guys were very close.
Yes.
Okay. And from what I understand, Orlando was a thorough guy. He had a reputation for this, for being with the shit.
No, he was a good person. Very good person, good heart, everything. He was really a kid when that shit happened on me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Shortly before.
So Orlando's the one they're suspecting, his nephew. He's
Gangsters
talking
did.
about it. Here's
And,
another moment now about the night.
There's no blood or nothing like that.
Okay.
You know, yeah. But yeah, he was a cool dude. Man,
So-
it was cool all the time.
Okay. So your nephew gets jumped.
Yeah, we met up and it was a few of them East Coast dudes from the East Coast, New York, and stuff like that. And we all met up. Well, And they said, nephew, like, yeah, they jumped on me and stuff like that.
Now, what does it mean, being a South Side Crip, to have a rapper punch you in the face and jump on you? What does that mean when you go back to your neighborhood?
What does that mean?
Yeah, what is the significance of that? Because it's one thing when two gangsters get into each other, but Tupac is not a gangster.
Right.
So if a non-gangster ends up jumping you, what are the ramifications for that in terms of gangs?
Not really. I don't know where, that's a conception. It's bullshit.
Okay, so it's just whatever.
Yeah.
Just another fight.
Yeah, just another fight.
Because a bunch of actual gangsters were involved in that fight. It wasn't just Tupac. Tupac threw the first punch.
Yeah.
But, Buntree, Neckbone, Suge, they all jumped in.
Yeah, Neckbone was on our team too. You look at that football picture, yeah.
Okay, Trayvon Lane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all.
And I ran track against Buntree when he ran for Whaley, and I ran for Roosevelt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they all jump on Orlando. You guys meet up. How was Orlando taking this whole situation?
How was he taking it?
Yeah, I mean, he just got jumped on. I mean, he wasn't seriously hurt.
No, he wasn't hurt like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking it bad. He just said he wanted to have a head up with him.
So that's important because that's the before it all went down was that scene with Orlando wondering, people assume then connect that he must have done something as a revenge given that he, they disrespected him.
Your car
That's what happened.
started shooting at Tupac and Suge.
Lane starts blasting. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting shot. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
In
of
the
the
back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside
He
of their
jumping
car?
in. I seen a bullet going Suge's head. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando shot across Dre?
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window, popped.
Who was it?
They would drove on my side. I would have popped them. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side.
Right.
I'm not gonna go into details on that one. Keep your streets on me. I ain't gonna go into detail on that.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and read from the book.
So that's pretty much you get the gist of the details that he's going to give regarding that night. But I don't know about you guys, but this guy clearly knows more. This guy clearly, I don't know, I do believe was holding out more. And it's sort of important here that I want to go through there's so many conspiracies we could go through all day, but I want to go through this timeline with you guys so you can really remember, because this has been a while now. But November 30th, 1994, 2 years before the shooting, Tupac was shot 5 times during a robbery at Quad Studios in Times Square. In an interview with Vibe magazine, he intimidates producer Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, rapper Christopher Wallace, known as Notorious B.I.G., who were at the studio. They were aware it was a setup. So September 7th, a couple years later, Tupac's then shot in a drive-by, leaving the boxing match at the MGM Grand on the Las Vegas Strip. He was sitting in a black BMW with Suge Knight. Now, I believe that is this image. If I'm correct, this was one of the last images of them. There's Suge, there's Tupac driving off. Maybe I'm wrong if it's not the night, but similar time. He was the head of his record label. White Cadillac pulled up alongside and a gunman opened fire, striking Tupac multiple times. September 13th, 1996, Tupac dies from his injuries in the hospital at the age of 25. He was really young, guys. It's been so long, it's sometimes easy to forget like how young Tupac was. So talented, was acting. I remember Poetic Justice, a lot of roles, songs. He was blowing up. He was already a huge deal, but would have been iconic for, kept going and growing massively. But yeah, after 5 days, he did pass in the hospital. On November 10th, 1996, a witness to the drive-bys is killed. Yafi Fula, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He was fatally shot in an apartment building in New Jersey. He was a member of Tupac's entourage and was seated in the car behind the rapper when the shooting occurred. Los Angeles Times reported at the time. It was kind of adds to our frustration of the whole investigation. Homicidal investigator told the Times. Now, again, you got all these witnesses who are being offed as well, almost like mob hits trying to protect the identity of who potentially is behind it. And then you got this guy who we've been watching somehow survives it. So it's not unreasonable for this to look strange. March 9th, 1997, Notorious Big is shot and killed in LA. Then that shooting, which is widely believed to have been connected to Tupac's murder, also remains unsolved. And then in September, Orlando, Los Angeles gang member files a lawsuit against Tupac's estate for the damage he suffered in the brawl with the rapper at the MGA Grand. That clip we just watched, which is odd. Why would he? I thought he was fine, but then he's trying to file a lawsuit against the estate. Tupac's mother files a wrongful death suit against him, alleging that he's the one who fatally shot her son. In May 1998, Anderson is shot and killed. Gang-related shooting in Los Angeles. He was never charged in the murder and has denied any involvement. And then fast forward, Netflix begins airing in 2018 Unsolved Tupac Biggie Murders, which brought the whole case back up for a lot of people. In April 2019, Dwayne Keith Davis has said he is one of the 2 living eyewitnesses to the shooting, along with Knight. He releases the book Compton Street Legend. Detectives also re-engaged with Tupac's following the release of that book. And then now, July 17th, 2023, Los Angeles police conduct a court-authorized search of a residence, which we just saw, pulling these items, and then bringing up this question of what do they have. Look who's with me now, Louis Lecca of Nerd Report. So happy to have you, man. We just walked through the whole timeline, updates of everything. So happy to have you here as well. Look, this is one of those Tupac, Biggie Smalls. I mean, these are giants in the rap space, music world, legends. And these murders were something that was obviously has been speculated about forever. Are you surprised, Louis, to see now this new information, these big revelations, apparently, that the breakthrough in the case? What are your thoughts?
Not at all. I'm not surprised. Dabbling into true crime stuff on my channel, man, they're constantly someone investigating this. They've been cracking cases from the 50s, 60s, and stuff. They just stay real quiet. And sometimes from one point to the other, it takes months, years, maybe. And I'm 100% sure this is probably, if it is related, it was probably years in the making. They just want to get their things right because everyone's suing everyone, and you don't want to get the wrong person, because let's say this person has nothing to do with it. Someone is going to want to get revenge on this person, thinking it's the person that got Tupac. Yeah. So yeah, and I do remember that night because I'm a big boxing fan. It was Tupac was visiting his good friend Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson fought Bruce Sheldon. It was a 1-round fight, of course, and maybe if the fight lasted a little longer, this wouldn't have happened. But it was well timed, and also that's why I just suggest, if you are a creator, if you're someone who's famous, don't alert people where you're at. Yeah, because there's always someone that's gonna hate you. So is it related to Tupac? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, this stuff's gonna just trickle in and everything. So yeah, there's a lot of Tupac touched a lot of people in the hip hop community and all music and stuff. So maybe this is the beginning of justice and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's wild. It's interesting, and obviously the Tupac legends, they're here. True crime, a cold case now, sort of coming back to life, is big headlines, and everybody's noticing and talking about this. So yeah, I will keep you guys posted on what this is. Like they warned us, this could take a couple months, but it's encouraging to see that maybe the families of Tupac will get some sort of justice, or we'll finally have some answers on this mystery that's been out there for a while. So there you go. That's the update. We got so much more I want to talk about. And look who's here. Steph, the Alternerd's here. We're going to break it all down. Again, if you haven't already, if you're watching live or you're watching this on the replay, consider becoming a member, or heck, just subscribe. You can hit that join or subscribe, hit the bell for alerts, smash the like. Leave a comment. What do you think about all this? And then when you're subscribing to stuff, make sure you subscribe to my man Louis Lecca over at Nerd Report for his true crime stuff. He follows this stuff closely. And thanks to Steph, the Alternerd, who's coming in for compiling all this amazing data today. Appreciate her. Go subscribe to Steph, the Alternerd, as well. There she is as she steps in. Give her a follow as well. We're going to get her thoughts and more here on the live. So if you're watching on the live, don't go anywhere.